Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Calling case 2458046, people of the state of Michigan versus Xavier Torres Terry Stoudemire. Opposed. Defendant's charged with count 1, criminal sexual conduct, first degree person, 13 to 17 years of age or older. Complainant. Count 2, criminal sexual conduct, second degree person, 13 to 17 years of age or older. Count 3, criminal sexual conduct, second degree person, 13 to 17 years of age or older. Count 4, criminal sexual conduct, second degree person, 13 to 17 years of age or older. Count 5, criminal sexual conduct, second degree person, 13 to 17 years of age or older.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Aaron Wellman, P82085, appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Cameron Bell on behalf of Mr. Stoudemire, Xavier Stoudemire, Posey. Mr. Posey, can you please state your name for the record, please?
Xavier Torres Stoudemire.
Thank you.
This date time set for preliminary examination. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many witnesses will it be?
2, potentially 3, if some minor things need to be.
Do you have any preliminary matters?
We would ask for a mutual order of sequestration, with the exception of our victim advocate, who will be joining the 2 complainants when they testify, Danita Eccles.
Any objection to the exam?
No objection, Your Honor.
The young man who came in here with white t-shirts. Who you guys?
Was a family member, family members of my client, Your Honor.
Why are they here in t-shirts?
They know it was a dress code. They may not have been aware of the dress code, Your Honor. I would ask if possible if they could still attend or observe the proceedings. They may not have been aware of the course policy. Your Honor, just as far as the last preliminary matter on the defense side, I did inform counsel that I intend to address bond, Your Honor, when the court finds that to be appropriate.
Cross that bridge when we get to it.
Your Honor, I do have one final preliminary matter. The 2 complainants in this case are 8 and 10 years old. Will be testifying as to allegations involving criminal sexual conduct. I asked the court to take the measure that Your Honor usually takes in protecting their privacy and not putting them on camera.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay, the time's been recorded.
Just repeat number, sir.
81934.
All right. I'll allow the cousins to come back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can see this.
He didn't ask me to. He wondered if I called my first witness and you didn't ask me to yet, but, okay, that's what I figured. Thanks.
So you guys look old enough to know better how to come dress in court. For future reference. All right, call your people. Call your witness.
The people called Justice Fleischer.
Well, hello there. What's your name? Hi, Justice Flair. How old are you? You're 8? You go to school? What grade are you going to? 3rd grade? You like school? You're a good student? High five. I like that. You know what it means to tell the truth and what it means to tell a lie?
Yeah.
You promise to tell me the truth? If I told you that I'm wearing a red coat right now, will I be telling the truth or telling a lie? If I told you that I had no hair on my head, would I be telling the truth or telling a lie? Okay, so you're gonna promise to tell me the truth, right? Very good. I'm gonna have you turn around and face that way. People are gonna be talking to you, and I want you to talk into this microphone for me so we can hear everything that you're saying, okay? You have to answer yes or no if you can. And don't say mm-mm or mm-mm because she has to take down everything that you're saying, okay? Got that? All right. Okay, when you're ready.
Hey, hello,
Hi,
I'm over here, okay. Can you tell me your name again?
Justice Claire,
What is your birthday?
March 9th,
Do you know what year?
March
March 9th. Oh, how old are
Every
you?
year.
8th,
What's that?
Every year is her birthday.
Every year is your birthday. And how old are you?
8th.
And for when I ask you questions today, can I just call you Justice?
Yeah.
Thank you. Justice, I'm gonna ask you some questions about your body. Is that okay?
Yes.
Justice, are there parts of your body that nobody is supposed to see or touch?
Yes.
Can you tell me what parts of your body no one is supposed to see or touch?
My front part and my
Okay. So you told me 2 parts. So I need to ask you some questions about those 2 parts, okay? You said your front part. What do you use your front part for?
to use the bathroom.
Okay, and this might be kind of a silly question, but when you use the bathroom with your front part, what comes out? What's that? Pee, okay. And then you said your back?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you use your back for?
To
To what?
boo.
Okay. What's boo-boo? Is that something that comes out of your back?
Yes.
Okay. So, Justice, has anybody ever touched either of those parts of your body that no one is supposed to touch?
Yes.
Which part?
My front part.
Can you tell me who touched your front part?
My stepdad.
What is your stepdad's name?
Therese.
Do you see your stepdad here in the room today?
Yes.
You do? Can you point to your stepdad? Can you see what color your stepdad is wearing?
Yes.
What is that color?
Darkest green, and he's wearing a white shirt under it.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant.
So noted.
Can you tell me how old you were, Justice, when your stepdad touched your front area?
7.
Remember where you were?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
I was in my mom's room and the bathroom in my courthouse.
The mom's room. What is your mom's name?
You will call her Movie.
Okay, you just call her mom? Okay. And then you said your auntie's house. I didn't hear your auntie's name.
Portia.
Portia. And you said that that was the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, starting with your mom's room, was that in a house, an apartment, something different?
In a house.
Do you know what street that house was on?
Yes.
What street?
West
West? Okay. Do you know what city?
Michigan.
Okay. And then what about your Auntie Portia? Do you know what street she lived on? What is that?
East
Okay. What city?
Michigan.
Okay. They both live in Michigan?
Yes.
So when you were in your mom's room and your stepdad touched your front part, what part of his body did he use to touch your front part?
His front part.
So I have to ask you a few more questions about that. Do you know what your stepdad uses his front part for?
He uses that.
And what comes out?
He.
When your stepdad touched your front part with his front part, did you have clothes on?
Yes.
And when your stepdad touched your front part with his front part, was he wearing clothes? And did your clothes stay on the entire time?
Yes.
So when your stepdad's front part touched your front part, did it touch the outside or something different? Can you tell me what that means?
I didn't hear it. Can you say that again?
I have forgot.
Do you remember if your stepdad said anything to you when his front part touched your front part? Was your stepdad's body doing anything? Was your mom home when this happened?
She had went to the store.
Now, you talked about another time in your Auntie Portia's bathroom. Where you said your front part was touched.
Yes.
Just making sure I got that right. Can you tell me what part of your stepdad's body he used to touch your front part at Auntie Portia's?
His front part.
And Justice, did you have clothing on this time?
Yes.
Did anything happen to your clothing?
No.
What about your stepdad? Did he have clothing on?
I don't.
Okay, you're not sure? Thank you for not guessing. Did stepdad say anything to you when this happened?
I don't know.
Justice, did your stepdad ever have you touch any parts of his body?
Yes.
What part would that be?
His private part.
That's the same area he uses to go to the bathroom if he comes out?
Yes.
And what part of your body did you use to touch your stepdad's front part? Did you use any other part of your body to touch your front part?
I didn't hear what she said, what part of her body?
You said her front part. So, let me ask you this, Justice. Was there ever any time that you touched any part of your stepdad's body with any other parts of your body that is not a private part? Do you have any siblings, Justice?
Yes,
Oh, can you tell me, the names of your siblings?
Madison, MJ, Coco, Cody,
And is Madison older or younger than you?
older,
How old is Madison?
10.
Did all of your brothers and sisters live in the same house as you where this happened?
Yes,
Were they home when something happened?
yes, they were upstairs playing with the toys.
Justice, did your stepdad ever say anything to you about telling anybody about what
Yes.
happened?
Yes, he said don't tell my mom or my siblings.
And how long did this happen for that your stepdad was touching your front part?
It was going on for about a year.
Did you end up telling someone?
My mom had found out.
Did you tell your mom?
No,
Is there anything else that you didn't tell me that your stepdad would force you to do? What does that mean with your shoulders?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Do you know how old your stepdad is?
No.
And so we know about the two houses that something happened in, Mom's house and Aunt Portia's. In Mom's house, did your stepdad touch you one time or more than one time?
I don't know.
In your Auntie Portia's house, did your stepdad touch you one time or more than one time?
One time.
Thank you, Justice. That's all I have right now, okay? Thank you.
Cross examine. Hold on, sweetie. He's gonna ask you some questions too.
Hi, Justice.
Hi, Stephanie.
What she said? What did she say?
She said, hi, stepdad. Hi, Justice. I'm Cameron. Nice to meet you. You can call me Cam, okay? I have some questions too, just like she did, okay? I may not have as many questions as she has, but I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? Okay.
Sir, don't do that.
So Justice, are you currently in school?
No,
No?
cause we gotta move.
Oh, you guys gotta move? Okay. I wanna kind of go back to what some of the stuff she was talking about as well. Do you know what the weather is outside today?
Yeah,
That's relevance.
You know, I'm just trying to establish a little bit of a foundation before I get into the question.
I'll give you some latitude. Make it relevant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Justice, you stated that your stepdad's front part touched your front part for about a year,
yes,
okay? And every time that would happen, was your siblings at home or with you?
they was at home with me
Okay,
downstairs playing with the toys.
okay. And at any point in time when your stepdad's front part touched your front part, did any of your siblings, wonder where you were?
Yes,
Okay.
She can't testify as to what someone else wonders.
Turn around, move on. Justice, who did you first tell as to touch your front part?
no one, cause my dad said don't tell anybody.
Okay. Do you love your dad?
Yes,
Okay. Are you scared of him?
No.
Okay. And do you have a cousin named Aubrey? Aubrey?
yes,
Okay.
I have two cousins named Aubrey.
Okay. And did you tell Aubrey, your cousin Aubrey, the two ages of the two cousins that you have, do you know the ages of them?
No,
Okay. Is one about your age?
no,
Okay. Did you ever talk to Aubrey about what happened here?
no,
Okay. Did you ever talk to your sister Madison about this?
maybe.
Okay. When you say maybe, did you guys ever have a conversation about this?
Yeah, my mom, cause she had found out.
Okay. Did you ever tell your grandmother?
No,
Did you ever tell your aunt? Okay. Do you refer to your aunt as TT? Okay. So, did you get a chance to speak with your sister Madison today?
yes,
Okay. Did you talk to your grandmother today?
No.
You talk to both of your cousins, Aubrey, a lot?
we really don't be around our cousins for real because we be having to stay home because our aunties be going to work.
Okay. And when your aunties go to work, are you usually at home with your dad?
Yes,
Okay. And is it daytime when you're at home with your dad?
yes,
Okay. Are you ever with your dad by yourself at night? Okay. Was there ever a time when you were at home at night and your mom wasn't home?
yes,
Okay, and was your stepdad there as well?
yes,
Okay, and when you were at home with your dad at nighttime, is that when his front part touched your front part?
Yes,
Okay. Did you ever go and tell on your dad for that?
no,
Okay. Do you remember if it was snow outside at nighttime when this happened?
it was a hot day and it had got nighttime.
Okay. Were you out of school at that time?
Yes.
And this, just as you stated, this went on for about a year?
Yes,
Okay. And during that year, you never told your mom?
it's just she had found out.
Okay. Did you ever want to tell your mom?
No.
One second. Justice, do you trust your dad?
I object to that question as to relevance.
Sustained.
No, just one second. You have no further questions. Thank you.
Can you read the record?
I have one follow-up question, just one, Justice, okay?
Okay,
This gentleman asked you, if you wanted to tell your mom, and you said no. Can you tell me why you didn't want to tell your mom?
because I was scared and my mom told me to never be scared to tell her nothing.
Justice?
Okay. So Justice, are you a little nervous right now?
Yes,
That's understandable because you don't know any of us, right? This is our first time meeting, right?
yes,
But you told me that you were gonna tell us the truth, and you told us the truth so far, haven't you? Okay. So, do you know how your mom found out?
cause my cousin told her mama and her mama told my mom,
Okay. Did you tell your cousin?
though my sister did.
You told your sister?
No,
Okay. All right. So during these times that you say your stepdad's front part touched your front part, you said that he didn't have clothes on, right?
yes,
But you had clothes on. Were your clothes ever moved or anything?
yes,
How were they moved?
my dad had,
He did what?
my dad pulled it down.
He pulled them down? Okay. And when his front part touched your front part, was that his skin on your skin?
Yes,
Okay. And when that happened, how did it make you feel? Did you feel any kind of way?
yes,
Tell me how you felt.
I felt weird.
Felt weird? Did you have any pain or discomfort anywhere?
Yes,
Where?
um,
Where?
my mouth,
Your mouth.
yeah,
Tell me why your mouth was hurt.
he put his private part in my mouth. He pushed my head.
Okay. And where did that happen at?
In my mom's room and at my teaching portion house in her bathroom.
Okay, both places, okay. And his private part, or that front part you're talking about, did it go inside of your mouth?
Yes.
Any questions based on my questions?
Yeah, I just have
Okay.
Justice, did you tell anybody at all about your dad's front part going, touching your mouth?
No.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you, Justice.
Thank you, Justice. It was nice meeting you.
Good, I'm gonna help you get out of
Keep
here.
doing good in school, okay? All right.
Here, let's see. There you go. Hi, before I call the next complainant, I'm going to call Shawanda Ellsbury. And Your Honor, just before that witness comes in, I was informed by my advocate that there may have been some faces being made by the defendant. I would ask if that was the case for the court to just make sure that.
I was watching it and I didn't see anything but a wave, and I cautioned him about that. Sir, I don't want you communicating with either witness, period. Understood? I can't hear you. Sir.
Thank you, Judge. I wasn't watching, so I'm not.
I was watching.
Okay.
Please give her your name. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat. This box next to me. Ms. Wilmot, before you proceed, this is someone to take away for the waiver.
Sure.
Yes.
Calling case 2458163, Equal State of Michigan versus Eric Anthony Hutchinson. Defendant is charged in count 1, criminal sexual conduct, first degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. Count 2, criminal sexual conduct, first degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. Count 3, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. Count 4, aggravated indecent exposure. Appearances for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Erica Moses on behalf of the people, P 78491.
Ben Gonick on behalf of Mr. Eric Hutchinson, P 43716.
Mr. Hutchinson, tell us your name for the record, sir.
Eric Hutchinson.
And what's your pleasure, Mr. Down?
Your Honor, I've had an opportunity to actually meet with my client once before today and see him today. I've explained to him the preliminary examination, what has to be shown in one, gave him my advice about whether or not he should hold the preliminary examination. It's actually following my advice and at this time wishes to waive his right to a preliminary examination and have this matter go to the Wayne County Circuit Court.
Mr. Hutchinson, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You put your hand up. You understand you have a statutory right to have a preliminary examination. By waiving the same, that means you won't have one, and you'll be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court as you stand charged. You understand it?
Yeah.
You understand the nature and the purpose of a preliminary examination?
Yeah.
You understand if you were to have one, the prosecution would have to establish that the crime you're charged with was committed in the city of Detroit that was probably caused to be committed.
Yeah.
Is anyone forcing you to waive your right?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything?
No.
Are you waiving your right freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
Any objection from the people?
I don't, Judge. If I may, I do have the legal file that can just hand it to me. Would you like to have?
Yes, please.
They're approaching that.
Well, I signed it.
I don't actually see the form in here. So
It's
it's
on,
fine.
it should be on the left-hand side. Second or third page. Cool, what you got?
What will be a dismissal, Judge?
Okay, no witness. All right. Again, so there's no objection from the people, is that right?
No objection.
This court finds defendant's waiver is made knowingly and voluntarily free to give. The court will therefore bind the defendant over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information, date and time will be August 2nd, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. File will be continued.
Judge, can we get a DSU report?
I'll refer.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, as well.
Just have a seat there. I'm gonna have to get you.
Mayor, first of the sign language.
Yes. Where Mr. Cooper go?
You just went to get the time.
Come on in, Cooper.
Okay.
Andre Jones. Calling case 2458203, people of the state of Michigan versus Andre Lamont Jones. Defendant is charged in count 1 assault with a dangerous weapon, count 2 felony firearm, count 3 weapons, firearms, possession by a prohibited person, count 4 domestic violence, the third offense notice. Defendant has an habitual offender second offense notice. Harrison, for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drink for the people, P number 60249.
And I could probably ask Mr. Jones, what's your full name?
Andre Lamont Jones.
There's date, time, set for preliminary examination. Are we ready to proceed?
Your Honor, I'm not able to proceed at this moment, but I would indicate that the complainant was contacted. Yesterday, she did say that she would be here for the exam. This is scheduled at 11:45, and it's now at 11:48. I am asking for a little bit of time, Judge.
All right, I'll give a few more minutes.
I understand.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we are back on the record on people versus Stoudemire. Stoudemire opposed. May proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're still in the morning there. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, good morning. Can you please tell me your name? How old are you, ma'am?
Please speak into the microphone for me, ma'am.
Do you have children, ma'am?
Yes,
Can you tell me the names of your children?
Madison Davis, Justice Player, Mark Lacy Jr., Zipporah Ellsbury, Cody,
You are fast. That's okay, I understand. So we have Madison,
Davis,
and she is how old?
10,
And then we have Justice Player,
8,
and then that's where you lost me.
Mark Lacy Jr.,
Okay, and how old?
yes. He is 5.
Okay, and next one?
Zipporah Ellsbury, Cody, she's 3.
Could you please spell the first name for the court reporter?
S-A_Cora.
And you said that she's 3 years old?
Yes,
Okay, and I think you named one more.
Zipporah, X-A_CODII. He is 2.
Thank you. Do you know someone by the name of Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey?
Yes.
How do you know a person by the name of Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey?
spouse and also the father of support.
So he's the father of the two youngest
Yes.
children?
Yes.
Do you see that person by the name of Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point to that person and describe something that they're wearing? Okay, can you see the color of his shirt?
Green.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please let the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey.
So no,
Thank you. Did you ever reside in the same house as Xavier?
No.
So Justice is 8.
Yes.
Can you tell me where you were living when Justice was 7?
8841 G.
What city is that in, ma'am?
Detroit, Michigan, 48204.
How long did you live at that residence?
2.5 years.
Do you still currently live there?
Yes.
Is that a house, an apartment, something different?
Single house.
Do you know someone by the name of, that Justice would call Auntie Portia?
Yes.
What is Auntie Portia's full name?
Shantae. Shantae.
What is her last name?
Stoudemire Posey.
So that would be Justice's then, well, actually, no, because he's not the father. So that is Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey's sister.
Yes.
Do you know her address?
No.
Do you know what city she lives in?
Sure.
Your children ever go over to her house?
Sometimes.
How old is Xavier?
27.
And at some point, without telling me what anybody may have said, did something come to your attention about something happening with Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey and Justice?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was? Was it, do you remember how old Justice was when you found out something happened?
8.
Was there a point in time where you found out, and again, without saying what anybody may have told you, right? That you may have found out that something happened between Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey and Madison, your daughter Madison?
Pardon, can you repeat that?
Sure, my apologies. Was there a point in time where you found out about something happening between Xavier Stoutmeyer Posey and your daughter Madison?
Yes.
How old was Madison when you found out about something happening?
10.
Did you find out about something happening with Justice and Madison at the same time?
No.
Can you just tell me, without stating what was said, how did you find out that information?
Relatives.
A specific relative?
My sister. My mother.
And what are their names?
Mia Davis and Shakira Davis.
Was that something that they told you in person, over the phone, something different? Did you ever confront Xavier about what you had learned over the phone?
Yes.
Where did you confront him? At the house?
Where he was arrested.
What'd you say to him?
Just asking about the allegations.
Did he respond?
Not really.
Did he make any denials or admissions?
No. Just like allegations are set against me, like me to just got to do his money. That's it.
said what? I didn't hear that.
When I asked him about allegations, it was not a confirmation or denial. He just said, if I feel like, you know, to do what I gotta do as a mother. If I feel like he needs to be going or anything. He's like another.
Did you call the police?
I did.
Cooperate with their investigation?
Say yes.
Yes,
Did you take Justice and Madison to a place called Kutztown?
yes,
And you provided also a statement to the police?
no. There was a lot going on the day that happened, so it was like commotion that day when it did happen, so I felt I had to call the police just to get people removed, you know, not just him, or just from the home in general.
So how were you feeling that day?
Everywhere.
Understand. That's all I have with this witness.
Cross-examine.
Thank you.
Okay, Shawanda, is it your testimony that, Mr. Stoudemire, well, strike that. It's your testimony that Mr. Stoudemire did not admit to anything, correct?
Correct.
And when confronted about it, had Mr. Stoudemire just woken up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like baseball, but he was still in phase.
okay. And was there any argument or anything like that upon you guys' interaction?
No.
Now, prior to Mr. Stoudemire, well, prior to you hearing of these allegations, had you had any type of suspicion or reason to think that he could have done these allegations?
Not at all. No.
And he's never admitted to anything like this in the past, correct?
Correct.
And I don't want to know what they told you. I'm just trying to confirm the source of the information. You have received a phone call from your mother, correct?
Yes.
And your mother's name is Mia Davis Brown, correct?
Yes.
And prior to these allegations, you never had any type of conversations or anything like that as to any allegations in this case?
No.
Is it fair to say that the phone call that you received from your mother pertaining to these allegations was out of nowhere?
Yes.
And at the time in which, you had learned of these allegations and received that phone call, were you under the influence of alcohol?
I had a cup of wine, maybe two, but nothing too major.
Okay, so no liquor or anything like
I'm
that?
gonna object, I don't know how this is relevant. She was having, an adult having alcohol beverages.
Your Honor, it's relevant given the fact that it hasn't been presented today, but there is evidence showing that there was, not necessarily an influence, but that Ms. Ellis had consumed alcohol.
That's very.
Aspirin, I'm sorry. My apologies.
So, alcohol.
Your Honor, it's also mentioned in the police report.
Again, I'm just still not sure how someone consuming alcohol is relevant to her receiving a call regarding sexual abuse allegations of her children.
Your Honor, it's in my opinion, it's relevant given the fact that it goes to the totality of the circumstances and as to when she learned of this information.
Not sure if it's terrible.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Ellsbury, when you received a phone call from your mother, were you and your mother on good terms?
No.
And how often would you talk to your mother?
Not very often.
Okay. To your knowledge, was your mother on good terms with Mr. Stoudemire? Okay. It's a cordial relationship, is that fair to say?
Courteous.
Okay. Now, around the time in which you received the phone call from your mother, were you and Mr. Stoudemire on good terms?
Yes.
And Mr. Stoudemire is considered to be the stepfather of the 3 children that you do not have, correct?
Yes.
And they all refer to him as dad.
Yes.
And at the time in which you received the phone call, did you actually speak to your sister Shakita Davis as well?
More so, only my mother, obviously.
So no conversation with your sister pertaining to these allegations?
No, not until everyone showed up to my home.
Okay. Now, how often would Mr. Stoudemire be left alone to watch the children?
Not too often.
Okay. Do you typically work nights?
I don't work, I'm
Okay. And does Mr. Stoudemire typically work nights?
yes.
So is it fair to say that it was rare that Mr. Stoudemire would be watching the kids by himself at night?
Right.
Now, prior to these allegations that you were made aware of, did Justice and Madison exhibit any behavior that seemed to be out of the usual?
No.
Okay.
Right.
Do you recall, is it your understanding that this alleged sexual assault was going on for about a year?
That's
And do you recall a time period in 2023 of your children acting out of the ordinary?
No.
And you never caught Mr. Stoudemire doing anything inappropriate?
you know, he loves, yeah, he does.
Fair to say that Mr. Stoudemire helps provide for Justice and Madison?
Definitely, yes.
Did you ever notice Mr. Stoudemire's behavior towards Madison and Justice being any different? Any times in which, well, I'll strike that. Now, Ms. Ellsbury, did you ever have a chance to review the police report in this case?
Yeah.
Okay. There was, at some point in time during the day when the police arrived at your home, you did have a conversation with a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Was that police officer a female?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever have, do you recall having an interview with a police officer in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point in time, when you had that conversation, you were being asked questions, is that
Well,
correct?
not me personally, but my mother and my children.
Okay. Do you recall telling the officer that that Mr. Stoudemire admitted to the allegations?
No.
Was there anything else stated to you by Mr. Stoudemire after you informed him of these allegations?
Like I said, he was still like in the days, so it's like allegations that you're saying, you feel like it's true, you know, just, you know, we see what's what.
Okay.
No
And,
confirmation, nothing.
okay. And did Mr. Stoudemire seem angry to you?
No.
Okay. Was that pretty much the end of the conversation? Once he had indicated to you, you know, go ahead and do what you feel is.
Yeah, right, that,
Do you recall him saying anything else that we haven't covered? Now, do you recall speaking with the officer? Well, strike that. Did you have a conversation with your 2 daughters, Madison and Justice?
yes,
Okay, and do you recall when and where you had that conversation with them? Okay, and this was after you had learned of the allegations, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did you speak with both of them separately, or did you speak with them both in the same room? So, say that again?
Separately.
Okay, and do you recall about just an estimation as to how long those conversations were?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, and I don't wanna know what Justice or Madison said, but did they confirm the allegations as to why we're here today? Okay. And was either one, Madison, as to whether when you were interviewing Justice, was Madison around or anything like that? Okay. And it's your understanding that they shared that information with another family member before it got to you? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you never actually wrote out a statement in this case, is that fair to say?
Correct.
Did you recall signing off on a written statement?
No.
Just 1 second. Do you recall around what time it was, Ms. Ellsbury, when you had confronted Mr. Stoudemire with this information? Okay. Did you ask Mr. Stoudemire at any point in time as to whether he will be willing to do a lie detector test?
Gonna object.
Your Honor,
I mean, if he did or didn't, I wouldn't be able to bring it up, so.
Stay.
Your Honor, no further questions. Thank you.
Any regard?
I have a couple follow-up questions, thank you. Just a few more questions for you, okay? Do you recall what Xavier's work schedule was?
From night to morning,
How many days per week?
every day.
Every day? So never had one day off?
No.
Did he ever take any vacations?
No.
Did he work every day, every night?
Not every day, but every night to morning, yes.
And then, you never went out at night?
Rarely.
But you guys didn't live in the same home, correct?
Correct.
Did Xavier ever stay the night at your home with you?
Sometimes you have children there.
Okay. That's all I have, thank you.
Did you say you were married to the?
Negative.
Oh. Thank you, you may step. You're all set. Thank you, Miss.
Madison Davis.
Hello. Hi. Hi, what's your name? Come on up, Madison. Open up the door, yes.
Yes.
Make it open real hard.
Right? There you go.
How old are you, Madison? You're 10? And what grade are you going to? Life school too? Nice, honest answer. Okay, so you know the difference between telling the truth and telling a lie? Say yes. You promise to tell me the truth? Say yes. You have to answer out loud, folks. Okay? If I told you I was wearing a red hat right now, would I be telling the truth or telling a lie? If I told you that I'm wearing a black robe right now, telling the truth or telling a lie? You promise to tell the truth, right? Okay. Now your sister did very, very good, but you're the older sister, right? You can outdo her, can't you? Probably. Okay, let's see. So these people are gonna ask you some questions, okay? And you're gonna tell them the truth, all right? Then begin when you're ready.
Take a little sit in the chair. You don't have to stand up. And then you see there's a microphone next to you.
I'll put it in your lap so you can speak directly into this, okay? So I can hear you, okay? Don't be nervous. We're good, all right?
Okay.
Perfectly safe.
Hey, hello.
Hello,
Can you tell us your name again?
Madison.
Can I call you Madison when I'm asking you some questions today?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you tell me what your birthday is?
October 6th,
October 6th. How old are you today?
10.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes,
Can you tell me the names of your brothers and sisters? And kind of go a little slowly so we can get all the names?
Justice, Sephora,
And how old is she?
who?
Decorah, did you say? How old?
She's 3 but 24.
Okay, 3 years old.
Yes,
Anybody else?
my sister Justice, I was just in she's 8. My brother MJ, he's 5.
MJ. Is that a nickname?
Yeah,
What is his, do you know his real name?
yes,
What is that?
Mark.
Mark, okay, but you call him MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else that I missed?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, is that a yes?
Yes,
Who did I miss?
the Cody.
Cody?
No, it's the Cody.
Oh, Cody. Thank you for correcting me, Madison. How old is Cody?
2.
2 years old? Okay. What is your mom's name?
So Wanda.
Madison, I'm gonna ask you just a few questions about your body, okay?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you tell me, Madison, are there parts of your body that nobody is supposed to touch?
yes,
What would those parts of your body be? Are you able to tell me?
Can you point to them for us? We had you stand up and point.
mm,
Why not?
I don't want to love him because
Madison, did anybody talk to you about coming here today?
yes,
Did anybody talk to you about not talking?
no,
You just feel uncomfortable?
yes,
Is there anything that would make you feel more comfortable?
no,
I don't want you to be uncomfortable, sweetie, so I'm not gonna ask you any more questions, okay?
okay.
Yeah, I may just have 1 second. Your Honor, I just have one more. Your Honor, I'm not gonna ask Madison any questions, so, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madison. You can step down. You're all done.
Watch yourself, okay?
Any other witnesses for the people?
No further witnesses.
Any witnesses for the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
People?
Your Honor, at this time, the people would first move to amend the information. So we have currently on the information, count 1, 2, and 3, which specifically I specified was for Madison Davis. One of those counts was criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. Count 2 was second degree, count 3 was second degree. I would ask to amend count 1 to specify justice player based on testimony we heard here today. I would move to amend count 2 to criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older, specify the complainant of justice player that's pursuant to the same as count 1, MCL 750.520 B as in boy to B. To make it easier, I would amend count 3 to specify justice player. And then count 4 would remain as justice player, and we would move to dismiss count 5. So all of the counts would be pertaining to justice player, Your Honor, if that makes sense.
It does.
That way we'll just get rid of count 5, but all of the counts are for justice player. 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree. And then we would move to bind over on those 4 counts pursuant to the testimony of justice player today. I'm not going to go through all of that testimony, but we heard about incidents specifically at her house in her mother's bedroom. And her mother confirmed that that was Mendota Street in Detroit where they lived. And that Auntie Portia's house, Justice said in Auntie Portia's bathroom, Justice's mom, Miss Ellsbury, confirmed that Portia lives in the city of Detroit. Justice talked about 2 incidents where one at her mom's house, one at Auntie Portia's house, both in the city of Detroit, where Xavier, who she identified at her stepdad, she waved at him, no issue there, that he pushed her head down onto his private area, his front part, and that went into his mouth, and that was some questioning by Your Honor. She also testified as to an instance at her mom's house and Auntie Portia's house where Mr. Stottmeyer Posey's front part touched her front part, skin to skin, that his clothing was off and that he took her pants down. She didn't establish penetration based on her testimony for that skin to skin contact. So we are leaving those as CFC2s. We're not asking to bump those up to anything. I think what's most compelling is even by the testimony of Ms. Ellsbury, the mother, that if we want to look at Mr. Stottmeyer Posey and even almost Justice was smiling at him, waving at him, the mom said, he's their father figure, he's their dad, provider, he loves them. It's clear that the kids love them. And that actually goes to my argument that there's any lack of motive for this child to make this up. I found her to be very credible, but also a sense of protection of this person she considers to be her dad. And unfortunately, as far as it goes with Madison, I think that there may be some things at play with that as well, but I'm certainly not gonna force a child when they're telling me they're uncomfortable. So we would move for bind over on those counts, Your Honor. Save any additional argument for rebuttal if necessary. Thank you.
Your Honor, just briefly, obviously, Your Honor, we would request that this matter be dismissed, just based upon the testimony from Ms. Ellsbury. The information that she provided wasn't consistent with the information that was in the discovery. However, I obviously understand Justice's testimony. I do agree that there is a question of fact. Yeah, so Your Honor, I'm just kind of stating some of this for the record. However, I do understand that there's a question of fact based upon the people's burden at this stage of the case. There was no questions by the defense as to Madison's testimony due to her being uncomfortable, and we believe the people, basically agreed with the people as to the dismissal or the amendment of the charges based upon the question of fact that was shown or been presented or that has come about by Justice's testimony. Your Honor, I'll leave it there. I just would like to address one.
I'm glad that you agree that, or I'm glad that you concede that there is a question of fact here, particularly as it relates to Justice Fleischer. I agree with the assistant prosecuting attorney that I watched her demeanor on the stand. She appeared to be a very credible witness, even at the young tender age that she is. And there is some love for the defendant. I think the cause of bad, but in any event, her testimony was quite compelling. And I think she made an honest effort to tell the truth. And I believe every word that she says. And I believe that she was nervous. Who wouldn't be in a courtroom full of strangers telling about these very personal things that allegedly took place by someone that she loves? It's downright reprehensible that a child would have to come forward to testify as to such things by someone that she's instilled some trust in. And I think even the mother, who has every right to be mad as hell, she still has some love and affiliation with this guy as well. That shined through in her testimony. I believe the testimony, he poured the wool over all of their eyes. But as it relates to the charges that are lodged against them, the court is satisfied the people that met their burden of probable cause as it relates to count 1, criminal sexual conduct, first degree person under 13 to 17 years of age or older, as it relates to Justice Fleischer, as well as count 2, criminal sexual conduct, first degree as amended, person under 13 to 17 years of age or older, as it relates to Justice Fleischer, and count 3 and 4, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, for Justice Fleischer. And the court will dismiss count 5. As it relates to Madison Davis, she wasn't willing to testify or tell us what allegedly took place. She said she felt uncomfortable, and she felt uncomfortable for a reason. And I can just imagine what that reason might be. The court finds the people that met their burden of probable cause as it relates to those charges and those counts. The court will bind the defendant over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be August 2nd, 2024 at 9 o'clock. You want to address bond?
Yes. Your Honor, I would ask for the court to consider a PR bond in this matter, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, in the alternative, I would ask that the court consider a cash bond with a 10% provision, Your Honor. My client has absolutely no criminal history, Your Honor. I understand the allegations, they are very serious in nature. I understand what was stated here today, and I know that the court is aware as to everything that's been stated, but Mr. Stoudemire Posey has not shown any type of, he's not shown that he's a flight risk of any kind, Your Honor. The only thing that is on his record, and it's not even a criminal record, Your Honor, we're talking about his driving record, is tickets. And that is something that he has been trying to get taken care of. I spoke with him the other day. He's in the midst of doing pleas by mail through the amnesty program that the court has been offering. And Your Honor, he is employed. He can go and stay with his mother. That address is listed in the discovery. And we would ask for a GPS tether, Your Honor, to monitor his whereabouts while this case proceeds. There's no criminal history to indicate any kind of flight risk. Mr. Stoudemire Posey, when the police came to the home, Your Honor, he was completely compliant. He was very composed, and he did not give the police officers any reason to, have to apprehend him other than placing him into the back of the police vehicle, Your Honor. I'm asking for the court to just take all of that into consideration while his case is pending, as it'll be going on for at least another couple months, Your Honor, at minimum. And it gives him an opportunity to work and go straight home, Your Honor. If the court is not inclined to allow for him to go to work, then he can still be at his mother's home and essentially be on house arrest, Your Honor, while this case is pending. But given that there is no criminal history, Your Honor, leading up to this, I would ask for the court to consider a PR bond, perhaps with a high bond amount attaching to that. And then obviously, if Mr. Stoudemire Posey did not avail himself to the court for the next court date, then that bond automatically gets applied. But in the alternative, Your Honor, I would ask for the court to set a cash bond that allows for a cash bond of 10%, Your Honor, to allow for Mr. Stoudemire Posey to get some things back in order, Your Honor, while this case is pending. His mother and his other family members, cousins, and his sister is here in support. They will make sure, I'm certain, Your Honor, in speaking with his mother, that they would ensure that Mr. Stoudemire Posey complies with all conditions of bond if the court were to grant my request. I would save any potential argument for rebuttal if the court would allow, but he's not a flight risk, Your Honor. Completely compliant. When the police officers arrived on the scene, there was no issues interviewing him.
Can you repeat yourself?
I know, Your Honor. I'm just stressing the point, Your Honor. I'll leave it there.
Ms. Wilmot,
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to any change in bond.
what is this current bond?
There is no, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the current bond is, but I'm objecting, I'm lodging a general objection. The court heard the testimony today, and even though Madison wasn't able to testify in this courtroom today, this is a bond argument, right? This isn't a bind over argument. There's a reason that he was charged with 3 counts that pertained to her as well. One being criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, because she did disclose acts of sexual abuse at the hands of her stepfather. And that means that we have 2 victims that we know about, Your Honor, and I think that is very concerning. I understand defense's argument about his, work and family. I would request that the court deny any change in bond at this time. Perhaps order a DSU report and we can address it across the street. I'd like to see some more information. I don't have enough information about this individual. And based on the allegations, any change in bond would be concerning to me. So I'm just going to generally object at this time.
Okay, there's a few things I know in my 30 years of experience in doing these kinds of cases, and cases in general. One of which is that even though the defendant does not have a criminal record, he's absolutely close to nothing. So that doesn't mean that he has not engaged in behavior that didn't come to light as of yet. I don't know. But I do recognize the purpose of bond is not to punish. The purpose of bond is to ensure that the defendant shows up in court. And I don't have any real reason to believe he won't show up in court. But my chief concern is whether or not this defendant poses a danger to the community. One thing I know about people who engage in this kind of behavior, typically with children, they have a sickness, uncontrollable sickness that they can't control. And that gives me pause as to whether or not this defendant poses a danger to them. Because the testimony that I did hear from Justice Blair today was very compelling testimony. She was a very credible witness, even at the tender age of 8 years old. She was a very credible witness. And she has no axe to grind, neither did the mother. By all intended purposes, they still love this guy. This guy is a danger to every child that may be out there. These allegations are true. It appears to this court that the likelihood of conviction is pretty high. It's great, even with you being the good attorney that you are. The facts are what they are. And that's something that he's going to have to deal with. I'm not inclined to reduce the bond at this time, whatever the bond is. And that's not clear to me in my review of the file, but the court is inclined to remand the defendant for the protection of the community. And I'll let you ask for a DSU report of the circuit court. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I need to dismiss the list of count five. Counsel, I need to dismiss the list of count five, dismiss the order. Okay, Your Honor.